Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Jojo Gonzalez. I just wanted to continue uh, just bringing a little bit of morning devotional, my time with the Lord. What does it look like? Um, I usually get up in the morning, I get dressed, I throw on some praise and worship, and I just continue just to worship as I'm just finishing up my prep for the day. This is my office, kind of my little, sanctuary. I get on my knees, pray to the Lord, just for a good night's rest. And I just continue to worship, and I just start getting into His Word. Yesterday I brought half of Psalm 1. Today I want to just look at the second half. Psalm 1:3 says, "He is like a tree planted by streams of water." And yesterday I said, "Hey man, that's you. You connected to the Lord. You're like these big, huge trees around the riverbank, man. You're planted right next to God. And, big and strong, right?" But the part that I want to look at today is says that it yields its fruit in season. In its own season. And just what's that? What is that fruit in your life? For me, right when I got saved, I started, witnessing and started going out, just as an evangelist, just sharing the gospel. I didn't even know what the word was. I just started doing it. And then eventually, God changed my role, from just pure evangelism to just taking care of people. Started just discipling people and just really turning on that pastoral counseling side of my heart, giving me compassion for others. And, now in the season where I'm at right now, it's a lot more leadership, guidance, counseling. It's teaching, of course, so it's a little bit more expanded now. Um, but what is the fruit that you're that you're giving off right now in this season? Is it good fruit or is it bad fruit? Jesus says that good fruit comes from good trees, bad fruit comes from bad trees. So ask yourself as you go about your day. It's like, man, is this good fruit? Is this bad fruit? And what season am I in? And you can tell by the fruit that you're giving off. And it also says that its leaf does not wither. And I need that encouragement today, man. It's like I feel, all the pressure and all the stress over the last 6 weeks of this COVID thing coming, making plans and preparations for home, for church, for business, especially, my family, immediate family, just, what's going on in their life, all the changes that we're going through, all the pressure, all the stress, but God's with me, right there planted by that water, man. My leaves do not wither, even though the sun comes, even though the worries of this world come. God still sustains me. And I want to let you know that God is going to sustain you. Connect with the Lord this morning. Worship, pray, get in the Word. Because it says in all that He does, He prospers. And thank the Lord, man. God has just carried us through this time. I cannot tell you just as much. Every morning I get up, just like praying for manna. In the wilderness every morning. Work has come for all these electricians that I lead, and it's just come. So thank the Lord for that. And all that He does, He prospers. So thank the Lord. So the next verse says, "The wicked are not so." It's the opposite, right? But are like chaff that the wind drives away. The wicked will just be, wasted chaff. It says, "Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous." And Jesus tells us how we're like fish in a net. He's going to throw back the bad fish and keep the good fish. And how at the end of the harvest, the weeds are going to get separated from the wheat, the wheat and the tares, right? And here's another one that says exactly the same thing. The wicked are not going to stand with the righteous. The wicked will not stand the judgment. So just to ask you, this morning, do you know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior this morning, for the forgiveness of your sins? And if not, and you're in question, man, now's a good time, and always. In the comments, you can, put prayer requests, questions. You can DM me, or you can look us up, sagemontchurch.org. We would love to be there for you, man. The last verse of Psalm 1 says, "For the Lord knows," He knows the way of the righteous. He knows. He knows what's going on in your mind. And I need that, these days. Yeah, I need him in my mind these days, to settle me down, just to calm me down, that way I can, when I can have sleep and peace and rest, that I can actually get to sleep. And these things just aren't running through my mind, my body, muscles twitching, The Lord knows your ways. And he's going to make those ways, just like his own ways, so continue just to focus on the Lord. The last part of that verse says, but the way of the wicked will perish, you know. And God doesn't want it so that any would perish, man, that we'd all have everlasting life in Jesus Christ. There's no reason to continue on the way that you're going right now. You can always turn to God, no matter what you've done in your life, no matter where you think you are, whatever your family's going to think of you. Don't even worry about those things, man. Turn to God, start following God, start worshiping in the morning, start praying, start getting in your word. Follow along with me as I go through Psalms. Contact us, man. Let us disciple you. Let us, start teaching you the discipline of being a Christian. It's an amazing place, man. You're not cutting out anything. So, well, I can't do this. I can't do this, and I can't do this if I go to church. And that's not true. You get to do so many great things. But the one thing I'm going to tell you get to do, man, is sleep in peace. It's a blessing, definitely. And you get to be down by that water and full and growing and knowing that God is with you. You have that confidence in the Lord. So that's where I'm going to leave it this morning. I'm going to continue to reflect on this throughout my day, and we'll see you this evening. God bless.